Survival of Nigeria's democracy on the front burner has concerned Nigerians, and civil society groups canvass for more inclusive participation in governance. There is no going back on PDP's planned elective national convention scheduled for this weekend in Ibadan, Oyo State. PDP governors, others insist. Stakeholders have praised achievements by current administration, thumbs up government in areas of infrastructural development. Plus, Social Democratic Party reels out prospects ahead of the campaigns for 2027. We have this and more on political update today. I'm Fisaya Ogunfui. Welcome. For Nigeria to sustain our democracy, deliberate efforts must be made by citizens to interrogate electoral processes that produce leaders in whose hands governance is entrusted. This view was unanimously expressed by stakeholders at the 2025 National Electoral Reform Summit in Abuja.
Converged from all walks of life, from different political backgrounds and ethno-cultural ideologies, notable Nigerians and other citizens are here, united by one factor, which is to uphold democracy that engenders good governance for the country. Each of the speakers provided ideas critical to reforms that will strengthen the electoral process and institutions such as INEC.
Granting INEC its own prosecutorial unit or guaranteed access to dedicated prosecutors would ensure timely action against electoral violation.
The summit is also seeking an electoral process that will discourage money politics in the country.
If you are a member of the APC, you still need millions of naira to buy nomination form. If you are a member of the ADC, of the PDP, of the SDP, of the Labour Party, you will still need that millions of naira to buy form.
Again, position taken by the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, regarding insecurity in the country is another issue being addressed.
So we must not use the Trump intervention as a basis to litigate our hatred for each other or our old grievances. It should not become a Christian, Muslim, whatever debate. It's an insecurity question. To cause electoral reform is not only that you should vote, is that you go against those who will stop you from your result being announced.
As Nigeria continues to navigate the challenges of governance and citizen participation, civil society groups and political scientists are calling for a shift from liberal democracy to a more inclusive, people-centered system that better addresses citizens' needs. This suggestion was made at the National Conference on the Future of Democracy in Nigeria, organized by the Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa.
The recent Anambra State governorship election has once again put Nigeria's electoral system to the test, a process many stakeholders describe as largely credible and transparent. But beyond credible polls lie a deeper question. Is Nigeria's democracy truly delivering on good governance and improving welfare of citizens?
We reaffirm our collective responsibility to ensure that democratic reforms are not episodic, but enduring, not elite-driven, but citizen-centered.
At this national conference on sustaining demographic growth in Nigeria, civil society actors and policy experts acknowledge progress in electoral reforms and institutional framework. However, they emphasize the need for leadership driven by integrity, credibility, and genuine service to the people.
You must strengthen constitutions and constitutionalism. You must promote peaceful constitutional transfer of power through peaceful election, establish civilian control over security apparatuses, promote and protect fundamental freedoms and human rights.
If our democracy must endure, it must include the aspiration and the needs of the people, whether they are poor or rich, or whether they belong to the middle class.
Now to the political players in the political field. The meeting of the PDP Governors National Working Committee and Board of Trustees has ended in Abuja, declaring that there's no going back on the party's planned elective national convention, scheduled for this weekend in Ibadan, Oyo State.
5 governors on the platform of the PDP, led by their chairman, Senator Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, the Damagum-led members of the National Working Committee, and the Adolphus Wabara-led Board of Trustees members, as well as other critical stakeholders of the PDP, attended this critical meeting held behind closed doors for hours. The November 15 and 16, 2025 elective national convention scheduled to hold in Ibadan, Oyo State is the only agenda here. Chairman of the National Convention Organizing Committee and Governor of Adamawa State, Amodu Fintiri, briefed the media on their resolutions.
We are going to Ibadan to go for our convention, and the convention is sacrosanct.
The Adolphus Wabara-led Board of Trustees of the party, while receiving a report from its Reconciliation Committee ahead of the convention, declared that the minority will always have their say, while the majority their way. Therefore, the convention will hold reconciliation afterwards.
We have now come up with our recommendation for a hitch-free convention.
As far as the organs of the party, are concerned, the convention will hold. All these problems we have in PDP are self-inflicted problems. Self-inflicted. In politics, it's a function of interest.
In the meantime, the faction of the People's Democratic Party, loyal to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, has dismissed the planned national convention of the party, scheduled to hold in Ibadan, Oyo State, as a nullity. It insisted that any such gathering has no legal backing and will not be recognized under the law.
All right, that's the latest installment in the PDP unending season of intrigues. But let's, interrogate this matter further. Join us in the studio is a member of the PDP who has played a leadership role in one capacity or the other. I'm talking about Timothy Osadolo. Timothy, thank you for joining us. You saw that report, and that's latest from your party. At least that was held yesterday. What is the other position? Because two key statements came to mind there. No going back, they are going ahead. And they also said that minority may have their say, majority will have their way, so they are going forward. After that, there will be reconciliation.
Well, good afternoon, and I want to thank you for having me. Yes, I listened to some clips from excerpts from the gathering of the former BOT chairman, Adolphus Wabara, and some of the governors yesterday, and I find some of the words there interesting, where the former BOT chairman was talking about minorities having their say and majority having their way, and one of the governors talking about that we will hold our convention. Those were his words. We will hold our convention. Well, they have a right to hold their convention. He didn't say PDP will hold this convention. We are talking about PDP convention holding. PDP convention we hold at a date fixed and agreed upon by all stakeholders of the PDP and by all relevant organs of the PDP and not a section of the PDP. Now, talking about minorities having their say and majorities having their way, looking at the face of the man speaking and the people behind him, is clear who's in the minority and who's in the majority. Yeah, we have freedom of speech, freedom of association. He's an adult, he can say whatever he likes, but what he does not have the authority over is to dictate what the PDP will do and what the PDP will not do. Now, even one of his leaders, a governor, said, we will have our convention. That is their convention. Again, if the PDP, like I want to put on records, and that as it has been said several in the past few days in all the media by the acting national chairman of the PDP and the national secretary of the PDP, that what they are going to do in Ibadan on Saturday is an early Christmas party. It's a party of Governor Sheman.
According to you, we need to interject there according to you, because that is going on, and they are saying that when this passes, reconciliation will hold thereafter. But there are some key issues In terms of even the primaries leading to the convention, let's just ask the state of play. Is it all done and dusted? Even when we look at some of the states that were in contention, where is that now before we even move to the convention tomorrow?
First and foremost, to have a convention, there's an electoral guidelines that must be followed. It's part of our constitution, it's part of our tradition, that you must have congresses in the 36 states of the federation where delegates going to the national convention will be elected, as long as the 6 zonal chapters of the party. But in this case, we have states, more than 5 states, that the congresses are yet to be concluded. The most poignant, the most sticky ones and contentious ones currently are the ones of Ebonyi, Anambra, and the zonal ESCO of the southeast. And the one of the people there presiding in the factional NWC, my very good friend Aliu Defa, who a competent court of jurisdiction in Umuahia has sacked his membership of the party. Yet that judgment has not been contested, and that judgment has not been vacated. Yet he sits up in the gathering of some NWC members, and he prides himself as a member of the NWC against a competent pronouncement from a judge. Now, you ask what are the processes to a convention. The processes is that we must have congresses in the states, elected and accredited delegates, and we must have resolutions from NEC where issues that we voted upon or discussed at the National Convention must have been circulated 90 days minimum to the National Convention, and there must be a 21 days notice to INEC.
But you have had two National Executive Committee meetings.
Signed by the National Chairman and the National Secretary of the party. We were supposed to have our NEC October 26. It didn't hold. And from that October 26 to date, no NEC has held to ratify or to discuss the issues that will be taken to the convention. And that's because the earlier purported date of 15 and 16 for the convention is contentious and has been nullified by the party hierarchy and leadership. Therefore, those people who have not left their various states as delegates, they are advised to stay home.
That is from your own.
Those that are in the party mood and to go and do one in Ibadan, they are free to go.
But that is just from your own perspective, because those governors are key stakeholders as well, and they have also taken a decision. But where do you go from here as a party if you are having factions like this with election around the corner? I'm talking about key elections, the general elections, 2 off-season elections next year, and the general elections. Where will this take your party when we have factionalized positions as far as even something as big as the National Convention is concerned?
First and foremost, where do we have the moral standing to stand before Nigerians to ask for votes or ask for support to get into public office, where the constitution of the country will now be for us to interpret and to implement, when we cannot obey simple internal rules and regulations that we wrote to ourselves within the PDP. A party that is yet to be able to operate and abide by the rules it wrote for itself. Upon which locus do we now ask to be given the permission or the right to operate the constitution or interpret the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or to preside over it for the benefit of all Nigerians? For me, we must first get our house in order so that we can now begin to talk to the public to have trust in us.
All right. As far as those 5 governors are concerned, and of course those governors and those BOT members as well as people, in that meeting, this will go on. Hopefully we'll come back to you for your final words on that, but that is the state of play. We'll also, of course, consider the issues of litigation that are ongoing, how they will be resolved. We'll look at that, but just keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority. We'll give you all this as we move into the business end of our election cycle. We begin to see how the parties and their efforts pan out. But let's take a few other stories very quickly to see to see what's happening. In the course of the week, of course, a former member of the PDP now, member of the APC, Bayelsa State Governor Doyediri says he will not force his deputy, Lawrence Ewurujakpo, to defect to his new party, but will rather appeal to him to see reasons and join him in the APC so that they can operate under one political umbrella. Diri made this known during the State Executive Council meeting at Government House in Yenagua earlier in the week.
Towards the State Executive Council meeting, where critical decisions for the socio-economic and political development of the state are often discussed and agreed upon before implementation, and so, this time, Governor Doyediri says he will not compel his deputy, Senator Lawrence Ewurujakpo, to join him in the All Progressive Congress, APC, but will continue to engage him for his understanding to do the needful. Already, the governor disclosed that the deputy governor has agreed to withdraw a suit filed against the State Assembly, Chief George and Attorney General of the state over a purported impeachment, and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to peace and reconciliation.
I don't intend to force people. I intend to appeal to people to see reasons with me. And those who are yet to make up their minds, I won't tell you the details I have with my deputy governor. We will continue to talk, because it is actually very difficult for the governor to be on one side and the deputy to be on the other side. So we will continue to talk and engage him to the point that we may all be in the same party.
All right, things are getting interesting. Now, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, is widening conversation on the need to do away with politics of sentiments and concentrates on issues that unite Nigeria as a people and as a nation. The presidential candidate of the party in the 2023 general elections, Adewale Adebayo, was speaking when stakeholders of the party paid a visit to the Arewa Consultative Forum in Abuja. Adebayo assured the forum that the SDP has a crop of young minds who are patriots and are willing to change the political narrative of the country. Emphasizing the importance of every zone to the socio-economic development of the country, he reiterates that human lives are being wasted as a result of insecurity across the country.
You will not hear from us ethnicity. You will not hear from us religion. Because last time when we were going, it was a dialogue of the deaf. Because after we speak and speak and speak for hours, the next question will be, if the north goes like this, when the south goes like that? We look at it, I have never seen any formula that works in the southern Nigeria that will not work in the north. There is nothing that is happening. The north of Nigeria is the south of Niger. So there's no north, there's no south. This is a question of pure orientation. What we want to do in this country is that we'll give you a government that is not corrupt and is incorruptible. We'll give you government and rendered services.
We need to solicit the cooperation and expertise of those who are in a position to assist us and assist this country to find answers to so many questions.
All right, some stakeholders have continued to appraise the strides of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. In the last 2.5 years, we are calling on Nigerians to support the renewed hope agenda for a prosperous country.
It is a moment of reflection and national pride, marking the 65th year of independence with the theme 65 years of Nigeria's independence, the journey so far with the renewed hope agenda in view, under the Arewa think tank, a platform that promotes unity, dialogue and strategic national discourse, one after the other, including the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and other top government officials, political stakeholders and development partners discuss Nigeria's progress since independence and the pathway towards a prosperous future under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The President's renewed hope agenda is therefore a clear testament to this foresight, and he has faithfully implemented his pledges and commitment from the very first day when he assumed office on that fateful May 29, 2023.
Gone are the days where you have to have convoy in the morning which put security to escort trucks and cars into Kaduna and go back, still being afraid of being attacked.
We are sure President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu will take us to the promised land, inshallah.
In the same vein, a coalition of transport professionals and other organizations have urged more Nigerians to support the current administration in its economic policies aimed at repositioning the country in line with the Renewed Hope initiatives. The convener Segun Obayendo at a media briefing in Abuja pointed to some economic development indices already yielding the desired results.
We are not waiting for change to come from above. We are organizing from the ground up to make sure that the sector gets the attention, reforms, and investment it deserves. We have seen encouraging signs, road rehabilitation across several states, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the revival of the Abuja-Kaduna, Warri, Itakwe rail lines, and effort to modernize our ports. These are steps in the right direction, but we must go further. Our vision is clear: safer road with safer vehicle training and enforcement.
All right, before we go, Timothy Osadolo is still here, a stalwart of the PDP, and matters arising this weekend. Some have boarded their planes, taking their tickets on the way to Ibadan, while others, some say they are staying back. But what is the way forward for your party, especially since you lead, you've been part of the younger generation in the party, and you wouldn't perhaps want this, party heading on a coalition course in terms of the factions and all the discordant tunes we've been hearing in the past few weeks?
For me, since January, for quite some time now, I have always insisted and I've always prayed and asked the leadership of the party on both sides or triple side or all sides of the divides. Let's always remove our heads from the clouds. Let's come down from our high horses and let's sit down and judge on the best possible way forward to champion the affairs of this party. We cannot continue to go to court and use litigations against ourselves. We must be able to sit down like a family, resolve our issues, and work and grow with it and learn from it. But this one they are going to Ibadan and this one is cancelling it is not the way forward. The way forward is that this Ibadan exercise can be put on hold while we do internal reconciliations.
All right, I have your, words on the show, and of course, we're also getting, the statements from the other side. We'll see what happens. Not forgetting also the litigations in place. We'll see how everything, turns out. Later on, of course, we'll be giving you updates, and of course, we would also come for a recap later next week. Between now and then, do play your politics for the greater good. Keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority. Many thanks to our guest, Timothy Osadolo, and our correspondents across the country, keeping their ears to the ground as far as political matters are concerned. Thank you very much for being a part of it, and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority for news reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.
Known for your achievements or activities? Then look no further. At NTA Knowledge on Star Times Channel 359, we will showcase your school's graduation, excursion, inter-house sports, community service, school's registration of new intakes, and more. For enquiries and advert placement, please dial 0805-906-0657, 0803-553-5720, 0803-337-4201. NTA Knowledge, learning to broaden horizon.